What's up, everybody? WiseGuyBets here with some DFS picks for today, 8/13/2021. We're on Friday the 13th here. We're looking at DraftKings main slate. There's 14 games on the slate tonight, and we're going to get right into it. Let's look at the pitcher position. At pitcher, I'm looking at Blake Snell. I feel I can get a little value tonight and get a very good pitcher who is hot. His projection on the night is 22.7. He's pitching around 4.6 innings per game. His last three games, fantasy point-wise, it's been a -10, a 20, and a 43. He's coming off of 43. He's averaging 14 fantasy points over 21 games. He's 8,400 on DraftKings. Arizona's batting 6 for 35 against him, which is an average of 171. His last 5 against Arizona has been 0-0, 34, 23, 43. So you see his last 3 against Arizona, he's been very successful. Can't see that changing tonight. He's one of the most highly rated pitchers on the slate for tonight, and he's affordable at 8,400. So Blake Snell is definitely someone I'm trying to get into my lineups tonight at the pitcher position. Let's look at the catcher position. At catcher, I'm looking at Tom Murphy, Seattle. Again, I don't like what I see at the catcher position, which happens most nights. His projection is 7.8 fantasy points. He has 8 homers on the season. He's batting 203 on the season. He's only getting around 2.9 at bats per game. His last 3 games, fantasy point wise, has been 2, 3, 7. He's averaging 5 on the season. He's 3,000 on DraftKings. I like that. He's 2 for 5 against the pitcher he's facing with 2 singles. He's batting 7th in the lineup. His last 5 against Toronto is 26-0-0-8-0, and he has a on-base percentage of .732 against lefties, and Ray Robbie gives up a .882 on-base percentage against righties. So the numbers add up for him to, have a chance tonight. With his salary, with his projection, I'm happy if he gets to the 7.8 at $3,000 on DraftKings. So Tom Murphy is someone I'm definitely looking to get into my lineups tonight at the catcher position. Let's look at the first base position. At first base, I'm looking at a player that I'm probably going to try to get into all of my lineups, and it's Ty France for Seattle. His projection on the night is 7.9 fantasy points. He has 11 homers on the season. He's batting 283. He's getting around 3.7 at bats per game. His average on the season over 106 games is 7 fantasy points. His last 3 games, fantasy point wise, is 11, 5, and 8. He's 3,500 on DraftKings. He's 5 for 10 against his pitcher he's facing. 2 singles, 1 triple, 2 home runs. He has Mr. Robbie Reyes' number. So I'm definitely looking at getting Ty France in my lineup tonight at the first base position. Let's look at the second base position. At second base, I'm looking at Jake Cronenworth for San Diego. His projection on the night is 7.9 fantasy points. He has 16 homers on the season. He's batting 279 on the season. He's getting around 3.8 at bats per game. His averaging 8 fantasy points over 113 games. His last 3 games, fantasy point wise, it's been 5, 9, and 16. He's 4,000 on DraftKings. He's 3 for 4 against the pitcher he's facing. 2 singles, 1 home run. His last 5 against Arizona has been 12, 11, 4, and 19, and 16. Jake Cronenworth is someone I'm looking to get into my lineup tonight at the second base position. I like how the numbers fare out for him here. He has a .858 on-base percentage against lefties, and the pitcher gives up. I think Cronenworth is a switch hitter, and I think Minor gives up 1.267 OPS to switchers. I may be wrong about that, but I still like the numbers. Draft Dashboard basically does all the work for me on that. He has basically a 71% advantage against the pitcher he's facing tonight. So let's move to the third base position. At third base, I'm looking at Jose Ramirez for Cleveland. He's projection for the night is 9.6 fantasy points. He has 25 homers on the season. He's batting .252. He's getting around 3.6 at bats per game. He's averaging 9 fantasy points over 104 games. His last 3 games have been 2, 2, and 0. As you see, he hasn't fared well lately. He's 5,700 on DraftKings. With that price, he's probably should be a core play for you. He's 3 for 8 against the pitcher he's facing, 2 singles, 1 home run. His last 5 against Detroit has been 32, 14, 7, 0, and 20. So he has great success against Detroit. This is the first game of the series against Detroit. So hopefully he can kind of break out of his mini funk. His last 5 games has been 20, 30, 2, 2, and 0. So his last 3 games haven't been well. But his last 5 games, he's played pretty decent. So hopefully he can break out his little funk he's had over the last 3 games, and I think he will tonight. So if you play Ramirez, I think he should be a core play for you, just based on his salary of 5,700 on DraftKings. Let's look at the shortstop position. At shortstop, I'm looking at Alexander Bogaerts for Boston. His projection on that is 8.4 fantasy points, 17 homers on the season. He's batting .304. He's getting around 3.7 at bats per game. He's averaging 9 fantasy points over 108 games. His last 3 games, fantasy point-wise, has been 8, 33, and 0. As you know, I love players coming off of 0 at 5,400. Mr. Bogaerts should probably be a core play for you because of his salary. Has no previous at-bats against his pitcher. I love the 11 over and under run total. It means he can probably get up to bat about 5 times tonight if everything go okay. His last 5 against Baltimore is 13, 0, 24, 2, and 7. As we know, Baltimore's not very good. Not sure about this pitcher. Don't know too much about him. But I like Mr. Bogaerts in his position tonight, especially coming off of 0 against a bad team with a high projection run total. So Mr. Bogaerts is someone I definitely want to get into my lineup tonight at the shortstop position. Let's look at the outfield. In the outfield, I'm going with Franmil Reyes for Cleveland. His projection on the night is 8 fantasy points. He has 20 homers on the season. He's batting .261. He's getting around 3.7 at bats per game. He's averaging 9 fantasy points over 71 games. His last 3 games fantasy point wise, it's been 4, 4, and 0. He's 5,300 on DraftKings. He's 3 for 4 against the pitcher that he's facing. 2 singles, 1 home run. Pretty good numbers in a limited sample size. So Mr. Reyes is definitely someone I want to try to get into my lineup tonight. It may be hard getting Reyes, Ramirez, and Bogaerts into your lineup, so you kind of may have to choose 2 out of the 3. Mr. Reyes is against Detroit in his last 5. It's 33, 14, 14, 3, and 7. But he's definitely a good choice in the outfield. I think he's one of the better choices in the outfield to select tonight. You can also look at Cedric Mullins for Baltimore, who should have a pretty good night, possibly. But Reyes and Mullins are the 2 players I'm looking at in the outfield tonight. Those are my picks for tonight. If my picks help you, go ahead and hit that like button. That'll be greatly appreciated. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. That helps me to keep creating quality videos, which I do like doing. So until the next video, guys, later.